I'll take another question from Kenneth here. How does your wedge mixing change when moving between large outdoor stages and say like smaller clubs with low ceilings? Are there different things that you're thinking about, or is it easier to get away with more outside, I guess? And then do you ever kind of like do any like analyzation on a room or a stage or anything to try to kind of figure out it's all just
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. The rig doesn't really change from small to big. The rig's what it is, and we're cramming in an arena band into a club is never fun. We all know that.
No.
So the only things that might change inside in a tinier place is we run out of room.
Yeah.
So side fills might have to go on the ground, or they might have to, I want them in the air, but, might stack them on cases or something like that. So we might have to build cases out in the barricade to extend the stage and put the wedges out on that. And then you're just dealing with weird volume issues at that point, or weird club sound versus arena or stadium outdoor sound. And battling with that. And that's just, for us, that's going to be a weird one-off. So everybody's coming in of like, okay, what are we going to have to do to make this work today? But yeah, the rig doesn't really change. Just the parameters of how we're driving it.
Totally. And if you're inside, you got to deal with front of house, probably more bouncing back.
Yeah, inside at a theater or a club is going to be more of a battle, especially for a band that plays arenas and stadiums, and they want we could go in and they're like, doesn't sound like the arena. I'm like, yeah, we're not in an arena today. Haven't noticed, but somehow they still want it to sound like the arena.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, it's just, it's weird things like that. We kind of, and the arenas and stadiums, we're kind of flying the PA kind of far out from the band so that they're not having to hear it.
That's nice.
But then they also sell 360. So they're surrounded by PA, and there's just that energy that's, a couple, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago, we did a smaller tour in the South. So the arenas were a little bit smaller, and there was we had a couple markets that we only sold 270. And that never happens. It hasn't happened since 92.
Right.
So they've always been surrounded by PA, and it was 2 shows in a row. And I remember Jeff saying to me, he's like, it sounded great last night. He's like, did anything change? I'm like, yeah, we weren't surrounded by PA. And he's like, wow, that is amazing. And then the next day, he's like, it's the same today. I go, yep, no, we're not surrounded by PA. And he's like, what do we have to do to change that? And I'm like, that is way up the scale for me, guys. Like, you're a band guy, you can figure that one out.
You're going to cut that many sections so you can hear better? No, you're not going to do that. Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be dealing with artist feelings about it more than what the rig is doing, because whenever you're switching between those two, and if you've been doing clubs and theaters for a little while and all of a sudden you're out on a festival stage, they feel exposed. They're not getting that pushback from the PA. They feel like, everything is quiet. My stuff isn't working. And it's like, no, we're there. You have space now. Yeah. And vice versa. All of a sudden, all those frequencies are now piling on top of each other. There's, ground stacked PA on the stage or something. And I'll just kind of then more mess around with like clearing out my low end and, just having to use the house more to kind of fill out. Because oftentimes if you listen to my wedges on their own, they're going to sound terrible because I'm not mixing for that person to be standing there alone with a microphone.
Yeah.
It's, you know,
Yeah,
it's for the
those
whole.
wedges are to cut through the PA noise.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Not to sound good on
Not
their
to sound
own.
good.
Yeah, exactly. Because they don't.